Here we go. Alright, so today we're going to be talking about the components of fitness. Okay, there's 11 components of fitness that we're going to talk about. We're going to break them down, talk about the definitions, and talk about various ways to assess those components. Okay? So for the first thing, what components of fitness do you know? I said there's 11 of them. If you can think of any off the top of your head, so these are things that you can think of them as the things that you would actually train whenever you're doing like weightlifting or running or things of that sort. What aspects are you training?
Probably like your strength, like muscular.
Okay.
Yeah. Flexibility. Yeah. And then for running, probably like endurance.
Okay.
And I don't know if this is part of flexibility, but or no, it would be balance.
Balance. Okay.
Also.
All right. Any others that you can think of?
Not off the top of my head.
No. All right. So this is good. All of these are a part of the components of fitness. It would be muscular strength, flexibility, endurance, which actually falls into 2 categories, and then balance. Okay. So as I mentioned, there are 11 components. All right. So if you want to go ahead and you can write these down. Just on the paper for now. So 11 components of fitness. They're split into 2 categories. So you have health-related fitness and skill-related fitness. For the health-related, cardiovascular, muscular endurance, muscular strength, flexibility, and body composition. So as you can see, I said endurance falls into 2. You have cardiovascular endurance and your muscular endurance. All right. For the skill-related, you have speed, power, agility, balance, coordination, and reaction time. Okay. And so all of these things are involved with any kind of sport that you may play. Some have varying roles in how and what they play in that sport, but these are all things that you can train, all things that are part of every sport, physical activity that you may participate in. Okay? So for the ones that you named off, okay, so which components did you already know? You said strength, flexibility, endurance, and balance. I want you to go ahead, take a few seconds here to go write on your paper a brief definition of what you think those mean. Okay, so for strength, flexibility, endurance, and balance. Okay, take about 10 more seconds. Okay. For the next part here, I want you to go out of the ones that you saw. Okay, so you got 4 of them down, technically 5 with the 2 endurance. So out of the other 6, which ones do you really want to know more about? Okay, so you can go ahead and pick about 2 or 3. Kind of highlight those for me, and you can tell me which ones.
Maybe cardiovascular endurance and body composition.
Body composition. All right, sounds good. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna break down these components. Okay. So the first one, we're going to get cardiovascular endurance. So what that means, and you can go ahead, we're going to go ahead and make a vocabulary card list, so you can go ahead and start with those now, okay? So for the first one, cardiovascular endurance, on the front, you're going to put the title, put the definition. On the back side, we're going to put the assessments, which I will highlight for you, okay? So cardiovascular endurance, which can be identified as the ability of the heart and lungs to work together to provide the needed oxygen and fuel to the body during sustained workloads. Take a second and write that down. Okay, and then 2 assessments that we can use to track that. Test it rather, would be the Cooper run, which involves using a track, tracking your time, and paying attention to your heart rate at the end of the test, or the step test, which is very similar. 3 minutes using a proper heighted box, 7 to 3 minutes, checking your heart rate at the end. Okay. And so for right now, you can just write the titles. We'll go more into the specifics later. Next one, muscular endurance. Okay, so that, as you saw, like I said earlier, endurance kind of broken into two parts. Cardiovascular is the first, muscular endurance is the second. This can be defined as the ability of the muscles to perform continuously without fatiguing. Okay, and so two tests for that one would be the sit-up test, which is very common. That's used for the California state testing, or the YMCA bench press test, which involves using a certain weight, trying to get as many reps as you can at the pace of a metronome.
And did you want me to write this in there?
Yes. Next one here, muscular strength, which can be defined as the amount of force a muscle can produce. Okay, state testing uses the push-up test. Another form of test we can do is 1 rep or multi-rep maxes in certain exercises. Commonly, it's things like bench press, back squat, leg press, things of that sort.